because of the Necronomicon. I'm just joking. But he talks about that in Simon's thing. So to get back to Lovecraft 7 and the original understanding, because there have been games, there's a book series called Gurups. There was a Necronomicon Gurups. There's Call of Cthulhu. There was this game, because people have added on to the monsters. But Lovecraft 7 monsters, I break them down to where they exist as the primal forces in your body. Nyarlathotep is the only deity that they can communicate between human and them. It's pineal gland. The drunk blind god who moves to music and does as they will, drunk and blind. That's melanin. Oh, I break all this shit down. And it's, like I said, I have it all in my, so, and because they couldn't hit it on that level, all the scholars who tried to break down Lovecraft, no one's, see, he was channeling, but no real nigga channelers from our era ever came and dealt with that. White channelers are still added to Satan and Lucifer and what they meant in Babylon, how it goes to the practicality of niggas today. Or I break that down and I give it to you in class. And I give it to you now. It's bad. So the monsters is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious, see, in the mythology, Cthulhu came from Saturn. There was running shit here. There was wars. He goes to sleep under the Pacific Ocean. That's why you have the movie Pacific Rim, where the monsters come out to sea. Then you had Idris Elba with his dumb ass yelling, "We become the monsters." I'm like, nigga, no, we are the monsters, you old dumb old nigga. We are. So him saying this kind of grandstanding is actually going against the energy that they're talking about. The monster is your true mind, the return of Osiris. The monster, Cthulhu, in the mythos, Cthulhu goes to sleep and returns, the same goddamn story about your subconscious mind returning, that Lovecraft is having this same goddamn nightmare. The monsters are those, remember we talked about it in the first one, Shakti versus Kundalini. Kundalini is more palatable. So the monsters are less palatable in this realm. Your subconscious mind is an animal. How many times I teach, let's be real. If you're in a store, you see a girl with you're married, you got your wife. I'm married, I got my wife. I love Khadijah to death. I see a girl with a fat butt. You're thinking about what it looked like, bent over, open, and you don't want to say thank you, how you doing, or nothing in here. But if you know you did any of that shit, you're going in there. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But you got to ask, didn't it come? Where is it coming at? Why is it up here? I don't even want to say hi to her. Ding, 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 and keep it moving. Why? Why does that occur? Why does that monstrous thought exist in my head? Or the dude that cut me off. Don't you just want to just grab that? Don't you have visions of like just driving through a whole bunch of motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? Then you catch yourself like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm good. I'm human. These are black people. I love them. I'm supposed to love them. Because morality, in the mythology of the Necronomicon, they said while Cthulhu sleeps, humanity rises. When Cthulhu rises, he eats their asses to death. What they're talking about is when your true nature rises, your human morality doesn't mean nothing. You're the god of the universe. And that same girl that you would have bent over, you make her in your own mind. There's no girl out there when you don't have a body. Remember, I told you, you make your world to entertain yourself, whatever. If today the God Rich decides to wake up and have a Walmart walk and say, oh, look at this, a buttocks. There's no morality where your wife is going, oh, that nigga done cheated on me and he's a no good man. That shit's from here. You can make whatever scenario in your mind go wherever, wherever, wherever. That's what we're doing. And it doesn't offend anything. But if you were in a human body, that's monstrous, what you're talking about. You went against your wife. You dishonored your family. You dishonored this lady. You dishonored Walmart, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? We could go on for how out of order all of this behavior is as a human. And you would be considered a monster. And we would have to jail your ass. You just walking in Walmart, putting it where you want to put it, you got to go. But if this is not offending anyone, because it's just you in your mind entertaining yourself in your own realm, could you imagine what you're only limited by the shit that you can think of? God. So that's the difference in when you take what you truly are, just on that little scale. I'm only expanding our mind with what we know from here. Imagine with what we don't know that we could get into. I'm only saying just thinking of what you could get into here in Walmart. Imagine, it's monstrous to a morale. It's monstrous to a human morale. So that's the monster concept that I actually decoded. This is another one, Necronomicon by Donald Tyson, like one of the start off ones. This is a good book too. This is one of them ones that Bobby gave me, but there's a lot of highlights, so it's good. I can't remember. Gateways to the Other World, Secrets Beyond the Final Journey from the Egyptian Underworld to the Gateways in the Sky by Philip Gardner. Philip Gardner is a very good writer, so that's probably, somebody, I went to a funeral, I was reading this perhaps. Let's see who, Barbara Elizabeth Anderson, December 20th, 7 p.m., 2009. That's proof. I was conscious in 2009. On this page, Gateways to the Other World. Right. This is a book Bobby gave me. Philip Gardner. This white boy here, Philip Gardner, is one. He sat in front of a lecture once to a bunch of white people and said, "Hey, white people, did you know black people are talking about Egypt too?" They all, what? He said, but get this. They ain't talking about shit we talking about. They talking about a whole different thing. And them motherfuckers was just like this. I can't remember who showed me that shit. Was it Shabazz? It was something, a Jazzo. It was someone, but I always remember that from Philip Gardner. But yeah, that's the size of it. Monsters versus what they're really talking about is the nature of your subconscious mind is a monster. So see, when you hear about Kali, you'll hear like, oh, Kali Ma, oh, beautiful mother in the sky, oh, Kali who bless us. But then you hear all these stories, they just eat motherfuckers alive. But then in the mythology, the cosmic version of Kali is calm, serene, and is the great mother. But when she gets here, she's attacking the 8 ignorances of humanity. So she's monstrous down here, but yet again up there, quite beautiful. And something, maybe one of them Venus or African Venus ones, Bobby talked about that in detail, where he held up a picture and he showed like in a figure 8, the goddess face here, but her being a monster up top. That was the kind of thing he was talking about at that time.
You know, when I think you, Bobby, and a couple of other people said when the ancestors, when we die, we go to live in our families' bodies.
Right.
So ancestors, like let's say my mother or your mother recently passed away. They go to live in your body, your heart. Is the heart, is that the correct organ?
Well, I wouldn't say they move in physically. They're in the DNA. So your DNA is in everything. They're in everything. They're in all your essence. So if you needed the ancestors help in your hands, they're there. You need it in your feet, they're there. Your mouth, they're there. The sea, they're there. The hair, they're there. They are you. You know what I'm saying? So your heart is symbolic of the love and the kingdom and all the rest of that shit. And I would have to say your heart would have to be open to be able to receive. They're always in you. Just your ability to acknowledge and use is really the key. And so the opening of the heart and all the rest of that stuff is just to receive a bigger abundance of that guidance, that spiritual guidance. But they're everywhere. They always were you. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. Physical, you know what I'm saying? You know that's it's the same motherfuckers. You, your aunt, your uncle. You know what I'm saying?
So when we spiritually, let's say we spiritually died, for lack of better words, I guess we went to live in another deity's body or DNA of another deity. You get what I'm saying?
So hold on, say it again.
So when we, like they say, what we call birth is the death of a spirit.
Okay.
So just like our ancestors, when they die, they live in our DNA. I guess when we come to this realm, we live in another entity's DNA. It's like a fractal. It keeps repeating itself. What you think?
I see what you're saying. I probably would look at it before you get on that level, because you could go on that shit. That's just another way of saying, like, what was that shit that the Grassi guy was saying? This is a simulation of a simulation of a simulation of a simulation.
Right.
But truthfully, in Kabbalah, they tell you, if you go by that, this was the archetype world, then it fell over, then it copied itself, and then that's it. So it tells you what simulation we're in. But I would say I would look at it more this way, because you go crazy doing that. Because I remember that was one of the things spiritually I was told, and then when I started asking people, they were told the same thing spiritual, not to get too hard in Kabbalah, because each fucking Sifra is another root, another Malkuth, and all this shit. You go on forever with that. Just look at the source of where all of this generates from. Your soul is a part of that light. Therefore, that's your golden ticket. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So even if we are in the DNA all the way down, we're in the DNA of something that comes from the source. You know what I'm saying? And all of that's not from the source, because at least in the Bible, it will say, like, I am a jealous God, and they speak and they get this from that what's in you is supposed to be older than that what created this place, they say. From that aspect. So you're really your power piece is your soul.
Yes, sir.
That divine light is your golden ticket to get back to that big pool, which is the source of everything. So wherever this shit started, you got a piece of it.
Right.
And you must be valued because of that piece. That's the idea. The divine spark is what the Gnostics called it. So even if we're sitting in all of that, you go crazy doing that. The idea is, you would have to say, can I make it back to that source? You get what I'm saying? That would be what that would be what you would hope for. And you know something, let me announce it now. So this will make my lazy ass move. There's about 2 hours of missing footage in my last the one the last tape I just put on YouTube. Like I fucked up, but I still have it. So I'm gonna put up 2 hours of missing footage. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I would say the source is that light. Your soul is what this is about. This is about your soul is the sun. So that sun that shines is your soul, and your soul sleeps down here to let this dream do what it does. Because if your soul was up and knows what it knows, this party would be over.
I told you something interesting, Panic, when we talked. I said, yo, you're able to draw so much light from your soul that you have much more energy than a lot of vegans I know.
Oh, yeah.
And the vegans, because we're taught that, the food is what gives us the light, or the physical sun that we see gives us the light. Something you draw from gives you more
Amen.
light.
You've heard it already. Amen. Ra.
Ra.
In
In what?
sun.
In his son, yes.
Once you go to the dark side, you become illuminated. There's a book called, I think it's called Darkness Visible by Simon Buxton. Darkness Visible by Simon Buxton, where he tells, they were studying all these African rituals with darkness and staying. They said after a certain amount of days in the darkness, the pineal starts to open up and you can start to see fluorescent. They said he drops Darkness Visible is the name of the book by Simon Buxton. If not, it's Simon Buxton's book. He made a book about bees, and he made, I think it's called Darkness Visible. I don't want to leave and get it again, but he talks about how this comes online after these go out. You know what I'm saying? Don't know why we bring that up. Don't know why we bring that up. What the fuck is he talking about again? That's that, yo. When that starts happening, Rich, that's when I'm going. Like, so I don't even remember what the fuck we was talking about.
Talking about the inner light. You ever seen this book, Panic? Dark
Yeah,
Light?
I have that. That's by the brother.
Yeah, the black dude. Yeah,
I think I talked to him before. What's his name again?
Edward Bruce Bynum. Edward Bruce
Bynum. Did I talk to him? I don't know. I think I did. But no, I have his book. That shit is on fire. Yeah. That book is fucking fire.
Yeah. Good book.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
We were
Bynum, yes.
I was saying how you're able to draw from that inner light.
Man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's that hidden sun. Yeah, like what could you? I just used to see Bobby do that shit, and it would amaze me. And I think I just felt it, like, I was a nigga who couldn't shut up anyway. So I don't know if I started thinking about the endless shut up ability of it, or just the ego trying to top them niggas. Them niggas doing 8 hours, I'm gonna do 8, whatever it was. But when I started looking up, I don't even notice this shit no more. It's like I'm gone. Like live lectures, 9 hours, 10 hours. There was one time they was trying to fuck with me. This little girl in fucking in Little Rock. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go there, she try to fuck with me. I'll be keeping their asses there to like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Everyone else be sleep. The whole lecture, she'd be like this. And she fuck with me, she just goes like this. Yeah. And then she act like she writing shit down. Yeah. It'd be like just me and her, 5. Yeah, so the science, this. We was like, yo, because in Little Rock, it was their spot. So it was nobody was renting it. It was like it was the people's spot. So we in that motherfucker just chilling with my girl Eleonora, give her a shout out. And that little young girl, I always take a picture. The second time I came, her ass had pen and paper like that. And then I did it in Florida. I was testing them niggas. It was like 5 a.m. And we talking about I start at 2. We take it, now we taking breaks. They fucked up in Florida. They gave me it was like 3 a.m. They thought it was over. They gave me a chair. What the fuck did they do that for? Whoo, that shit was like a new lecture. I kept them niggas there. It was like 4:15, some shit like that. Man. The only reason I stopped was Khadijah because Khadijah had to drive. We was down in Florida. We had to go back to Orlando where we were. But shit, man. Oh, hell yeah. It's like the next day sometimes I used to feel angsty. Like, you know what I mean? And I got my shit right here somewhere. It's up here. That kava nigga. Woo. Bobby told me about that kava shit. It's like, here it is. I got this shit. This is the good shit. The kava. I got this shit in Phoenix, nigga. I needed that shit to rise out the ashes. Like anxiety, like after I talk for long periods of time, that's actually what you feel anxious like, because you pull so much spirits and you trying to calm down. That's a lot. Actually, that's really the side effect of this shit. Think about this. After we say, all right, then, what you think? I'm just going to like, all right, then, and just go to bed. Nigga, this is this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second.
That's facts.
Yeah, it take a while for Khadijah. Like, we have to get in front of the TV and just veg out, like, after classes. Because my classes is 10 hours. I'm documented. Like, we start at 2, when I ended at 12 at one time, 1:30. Yo, I go into a meditation. I promise I'll be laid back on the couch, gone, still doing class. And I just look up after an hour, motherfuckers is there like, all that shit documented. So it's zoned out. I've been stopped doing this with this. I've been in deep channel, lecture in deep channel. I'm zoned out. I don't remember the shit I'm saying. I don't remember what we started with just now. Today, we're somewhere else. But Khadijah also now, she's starting to know that she has to de-guise. You call a lot of spiritual energy. We not call this Kava shit, though. This shit is very good for anxiety. And it helps, it kind of helps get you back to thinking because you got to do normal shit. You be all fucked after all of this. You be all fucked. You walk out the room. You want to get some pizza. You be like, you just be somewhere else. Yeah. But that's probably, I would say, the side effect of it. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten better at that with the last live lectures. Usually I'll be like out of it. And I was like up, ready to go. We was hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with Nashville and New Orleans last time. So the intellect is getting stronger in it. And I think it was getting stronger lately because of that Beetlejuice energy was coming down. So if you're, I'm always looking to receive some shit. That was Bobby's whole flagship thing. Breakthroughs, man. Look for breakthroughs. So you never satisfy yourself with what you know. You know what I'm saying? I may contradict the shit in the same in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Good. You know what I'm saying? This shit is supposed to break down. It's supposed to break down where none of this is supposed to make sense anymore, because when it stops making sense, that means your true mind is coming back. You get what I'm saying? You should